By default, if I check both, then there are no values, so it will just, it's a 0 0, so it is showing empty. Now I'll start giving these values. Let's say this is first parameter 10, then second parameter 10, then x2 and y2 also I'm giving this, just let's say 100 and 100. So this, I'm just refreshing the line, you can see this line. If I wanted to make this horizontal line, you can see this is flipped. I just given this 10 parameter. For circle as well, giving this 100, 100, 100 and 100. So it should be at around here, the circle should get drawn. Now let's begin for changing some of the UI components and improving this code. We're going to get rid of this direct value passing. We'll be just optimizing our code. Also, how to use a structure for this parameter values. So we'll be having two structure, one structure for this line parameters, one structure for the circle parameters. First of all, just modify the UI properties. So for this form properties, we'll just make it as a geometry app, form one. So geometry app. We'll be keeping this little bit taken down here, and this heading as drawing. So for this one, let's say something geometry shape. So this is geometry shape, and this is going to be input parameters. So this input section will be provided to provide the inputs, and then based on this input section, geometry shape will be getting drawn. So now go to this code behind, and as I said, one structure will be created for this line parameters and the structure will be getting created for the circle parameters. So create two structure, one line and another is a circle. So in this solution explorer, you can create one folder, and there we'll be keeping all the structures. So create a folder, structures. So I'm saying here structures, and inside that one structure, first structure I am going to add, just add new item. So the structure template, we do not have the structure template, so directly we'll be adding as a class template, and we'll be renaming that as a circle and line. So this is a line class, I am adding it, and we'll make it as a structure. And one more, add a circle structure, circle. So instead of class, just rename it to the struct. So for the line parameters, what are the things which we have to add? First of all, the parameters x1, first field which is going to be x1, and then y1 and y2, x2 and y2. So here I'm making this y1, this is x2, and this is a y2. See, these are the four fields which we require in the line structure. And second thing, in the circle we need x, y and height and width. Declare this variables for, or they create object, I'll say line, and this is what we can say the line, and for circle, so this is a circle structure and we are creating a circle structure variable. And now we can pass the values, we can initialize these line and circle with some values, and we have the values from this text boxes. And one more thing, this UI, we have given all these text boxes just to make sure the default, there should be some default value. So what we will do, we will just make this default value for all text boxes as a 0. So here I'm putting the 0. Then for all other text boxes also, this is going to be 0. So what I'll do, I'll select multiple text boxes, and this text property is common to all the text boxes. I'll put this 0. So everywhere it is 0. And when checkbox is getting changed, what are the things that we required? So those many things we can just take it from here. And here we will just read these values as, let's say, line.x1 equals to. So here this convert is by default we can use, but sometimes there is no value, or just to avoid the exception when it is throwing from the, if it is not text, but if someone is like just removing the text and putting some alphabets instead of numeric value. We are expecting numeric values to be assigned here. Then there will be a problem for converting the text value or some special characters entered by the user to this integer. Then possibly it will throw an exception. So to avoid it, int dot we can use this int dot try parse, and here we can use txt score x1, and what we are going to out the result out line dot x1. So this way we can make it out. So this is the text. So instead of this one, this simply we can initialize, and for other all the other values we can make it like this only. So those values will be available. Same way we can do for circle parameters as well. Here line dot x1. So for the line parameters, we have just reading the line parameters, and here we are reading the circle parameters. Now run and check how it behaves in the practical scenario. Now by default, if I check both, then there are no values, so it will just, it's a 0 0, so it is showing empty. Now I'll start giving these values. Let's say this is first parameter 10, then second parameter 10, then x2 and y2 also I'm giving this, just let's say 100 and 100. So this, I'm just refreshing the line. You can see this line. If I wanted to make this horizontal line, you can see this is flipped. I just given this 10 parameter. For circle as well, giving this 100 100 100 and 100. So it should be at around here, the circle should get drawn.